Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for joining this radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about whether fitness is on the increase, and more people sort of making the effort to get fit, do exercise, watch what they eat, and so on, or is obesity on the increase? Or if not obesity, is sort of non-fitness on the increase? This isn't necessarily people that are eating every bit of chocolate cake in sight, but people who are maybe being somewhat frugal with their diet, but not doing any exercise, and so they're slim or not necessarily obese, but they're unfit nonetheless. They get exhausted walking around the block. So just having a look at that now. I guess one way to get a close-up view of fitness is when you go to the beach. So I went to the beach recently, and for people outside of Australia, the summertime in Australia is the hottest days of the year are the sort of late December through to early mid-February. I mean, the summer goes for longer than that, but those are the particularly hot days when you can go to the beach and it'll be absolutely heaving and bodies peeling off in all directions and that sort of thing. So one recent day was a hot summer's day, such a day, and so we went down to the beach, and the beach was very busy, and so I was sort of looking around, taking out senior citizens who are in wheelchairs or something, or people under the age of sort of 16 or 17, but just looking generally at fitness, there were girls in senior high school, college who clearly were unfit, and yet they were wearing swimming costumes that only very fit and very confident girls you think would wear. So these were looking at it thinking, well, gee, why would you wear something like that when you're in that sort of physical condition? But these were just thoughts in my head. Now I sort of did a rough sort of count of the amount of men that either were fit, clearly they're doing hard time in the gym, or they're just really watching what they're eating and doing at least enough exercise to keep it together, and looking at the amount of women that fell into that category. There were a number of women who were slim but not fit, and certainly in the what I saw anyway was I only saw one. Oh no, actually there were three, two tiny Asian women who were obviously doing serious gym time, but they were tiny, very thin, um, and there was one Anglo or Caucasian lady who must have been doing serious gym time. I'd put her at late 30s, 3 kids, and was in excellent condition. And the only way you get looking like that is if you really put the time and effort into it. And she's obviously doing a lot of working out and being very careful with what she eats. Certainly at that age, anyway, looking that good. In terms of all factors considered, she was in the best out of the women. She was in the best condition of all on the beach again at that age, and 3 children. So congratulations. Takes a lot of work to get looking like that. So then comparing this to the men, so the percentage of women that were slim, I'd probably rate at 10 to 15%. The ones that were fit, 1 or 2% at best. In terms of the men, though, the ones that were slim, probably 50%, and the ones that were fit, 20%. So why is it that so many more men are in gym, working out in the gym type condition than women? Is it men are more focused, they persevere more? Are they are they vain? Is vanity an issue where they want to walk around the beach looking looking good? Are women less vain? Or there are various sort of questions you could ask about this, but the reality is that many more men are fit and in reasonable condition than are women. Now, I'm not talking about women that have got 100 children, and you would expect the body to degrade under that level of punishment. But no, I'm talking about youngish women who'd be 25, no children, and are they working such long hours that they can't afford it, or haven't got the time to do it? Why can't they have gym equipment at home and do it? As many people do, or many men do. So why aren't they out, doing walking, for example? There are plenty of exercises that can be done that don't require a gym. Walking is a very good one. Watching what you eat's another. But there were very few women who were in that even you'd say a reasonable fitness category. Sort of slimish and toned. That's a rarity, and I found that surprising. Again, even among young women. Now, if you look at there's a video I was watching a little while ago of actually that same beach that I was at, but in I suppose the early 1960s. Someone had taken a video. It's a bit scratchy and everything, but I don't. You would struggle to see a single overweight person there, other than senior citizens and clearly people who are on a lot of medication even then. But you struggle to find an overweight person. I remember, as a kid, I was staying with some relatives, and the eldest brother who was working, and I suppose he'd be, I don't know, 20 years older, something back in the day. And I remember having his breakfast, and he had one boiled egg, a cup of tea, and a piece of toast, and that was it. So no cereal, there was no jam or honey or anything like that. It was just buttered toast and a single, not a very large one as I recall, egg. That. So when you've got a diet like that, then I guess it's hard to pile on the pounds. But looking at the beach, as I say, there were very few people that I would rate as fit, and the men were fitter than women by probably 6 to 1. Um, and I wondered why that was. You think it would be, why doesn't why aren't the international media climbing all over this? Women are. Men are 6 times more likely to be fit than women. That proves fascist Nazi Hitler is what they are. So, but instead they're not talking about that. They probably bring out a story of women's health is being ignored, or some, they'll try and spin it as a victim narrative. But I was quite surprised at how few, and again, the young women as well, women that'd be in the dating market and that sort of stuff. You think they'd be putting quite a bit of time into looking good and being fit and all that sort of thing, but no, very few of them were. And are they not interested in dating? Do they not care? Screw those guys. Why should I be fit for them? They're all fascist Nazis anyways. I don't know. I don't know what the mentality would be. But there you have it. I was a little surprised. Maybe some people can comment below on their views as to why this is. I've noticed this in the past, but when I first noticed it, I thought it was an aberration that maybe I just hit a certain day on the beach when there were um, vastly more fit men than there were women, in the same age categories. So, but I don't think it's that. I think that's kind of how it is out there. Now, some years ago, I was in LA and went down to, this is a hot summer's day. So I thought my hotel wasn't really that far from Venice Beach. So I wandered down to the beach and had some sort of time to myself. And it was a few hours until I was meeting some business associates for dinner. So I was taking a wander around there. It's sort of kind of entertaining, the little sort of little areas you can go to there where people are doing sort of little shows and little gimmicks and gags and that sort of stuff. And then further on down, or certainly from the area that I was in, you're going down and there's that what's known as Muscle Beach. You've probably heard about it. Arnold Schwarzenegger's been there and that sort of thing. And there was there's a lot of fit people working out there, but they're all roided out, and half of them seem to be off their face with some drugs or something. I don't know, but wasn't kind of a very pleasant place. But overall, I saw this is some years ago, really much the same thing. Even amongst youngish people, between 20 and 25, there were still many more fit men than there were women or girls. I was surprised by that. Again, they haven't had children, they're not married. There's been no strain in the body of carrying a baby and giving birth and that sort of thing, and yet still they were. So clearly they're not putting in the time. It doesn't take that much to get fit, but you do have to focus on it. You do have to be disciplined, and I find men are just much better at being that disciplined than women. That's the only thing I can come up with. I look forward to hearing your views below. You've been with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.